Hello everybody and welcome back to another Dave the Diver guide. This video is going to be using footage from my recent live stream, so the quality is going to be a bit lower and you're going to have my face cam in the corner there, but let's not worry about that. Basically, this DLC, they introduced 20 collectible figures. Now, these 20 collectible figures can be all gotten in one dive, some of them in fixed locations, like places where layouts won't change, some of them are in places where layouts do change. So this is where they were for me. According to people in the chat at the time when I was doing the live, they had similar experiences of finding the figures in similar places to me. So even on different layouts. So hopefully, these, like the ones that aren't inside fixed locations, are still fairly accurate. But if not, you just search around the area a bit, and you will be able to find them. Like now, I also heard that all the figures are fixed to, like, you know, the certain box is that figure. So yeah, it should be relatively easy. You can get all 20 in one dive. So I'm going to go through from the shallows all the way to the Divine Tree control room, and I'm going to go and name all these figures in order. There'll also be like a written list, like with timestamps in like the description and a little description of the area that they're found in. But either way, you can see on the video here where like the figures are actually going to be found. Anyway, that's it for the introduction. So let's get on to the list. Number 1, Godzilla 1965. Now, I found this one in the far right on the shallows. So like you swim up to the far right on the top level and you'll be able to find the figurine in a box. Again, this one might vary a bit in like location, but it has been confirmed, like for me, that it was in the top right in the shallows, and someone else in chat at the time, they were on a different layout to me. They also said it was at the top right in the shallows, so you can find it there. Number 2, Anguirus 2004. Yeah, okay, I'm not that great at pronouncing these kaiju names, so you're gonna have to forgive me on that. But this one was sort of found in the middle of like the medium depth area. Now I had a limestone cave here, so the limestone cave made it so that it spawned on this shelf here. But I'm not sure if anyone else will be like where it's going to be on other layouts without limestone caves and all that. But I'm assuming it's going to be somewhere in the middle, like the middle area, like not too low down to the ground, not too high up. So maybe it's going to be in that big washing machine area. I don't know. But you know, if you search around the medium depths, you should be able to find it. It's the only one in the medium depth, so you should be able to, like, well, actually outside in the medium depths, so you should be able to find it relatively easier. Number 3, Mechagodzilla 1975. Now this one's in a fixed location, as in like this layout area, like the layout of this area doesn't change. Like when you enter the new region, it's always going to be looking like this, so what you're seeing on screen should be accurate. Yeah, this one's in the Sea People record chamber, so yeah, you just swim into the Sea People record chamber no matter what layout you're on, and you should be able to find it easily in a box here. Number 4, Ebirah 1966. Again, this is another fixed location one. This is in the Sunken Ship area where you fight the giant squid initially. Now, yeah, this one is, that's pretty much all there is to it. Like, you know, this layout doesn't change again, so you can always find Ebirah here. Number 5, Mecha-King Gidorah. Now, Mecha-King Gidorah is on the right side of the depths as you're coming in. Like if you go down, like there's 2 ways into the depths. If you go down on the right pipe, like the pipe down on the right, like the right side of the map, it should be in the entrance way there. That is according to someone else in chat as well, so you know, I don't believe this one moves around all too much. But again, if it might move around a bit, you know, check that entrance area around like the depths and it should be fine. Number 6, King Caesar 1974. Now, I'm not sure if I actually pronounced that right. It might be like something else, but again, this is just like, I'm terrible at pronouncing these kaiju names. But yeah, this one is in the, I guess, the place where you first meet Ramo, like in like this and Suwam. like in the resting room where like you have to go through the tube worm tunnels, and there's like a stone slab that like Suwam's and Ramo on. Like this area is not really used for anything else other than that, so yeah, the figure is in there. Number 7, Biolante. Okay, now that one I probably butchered the name of quite horribly, but it's in the Seaweed Collector's house. Like, when you have to go on a side mission to find a Seaweed Collector at one point, it is in his house. So, yeah. And that is sort of like on the left side of the depths. Like, after you go through like this, after you go through the tube worm tunnel in top left, you will be able to find like his house if you swim all the way left, and it's on the left side of the map, and you swim down a bit, you'll find it. And it's on the table at the back of his house. Number 8, Godzilla 1994. This one's also in the depths, out in the open. It's apparently near the whale skeleton always, so yeah, where the whale skeleton and the hole in the floor is, where the octopus makes you break through, you should be able to find like the Godzilla 1994 figurine over there. According to other people in chat, like, you know, this is always by the whale skeleton, so yeah. Depths have a lot of there's a lot of figures in the depths actually, so yeah, this is an area where you can get quite a lot of stuff. Number 9, Mothra 1961. Now this one is in the underwater lake. It's another fixed location where if you go in there, the location layout does not change. It's always the same underwater lake. So yeah, you swim in, and it's in the like sort of like passage between the first big chamber and the second big chamber, next to a weapon box. And yeah, you'll find a Mothra figurine in there. There's nothing else further in the chamber other than like the standard fish. So yeah, you don't need to go swimming further. But yeah, that is where Mothra is. Number 10, Little Godzilla. Now I find this one on a little shelf right after you go down through the hole, like in the floor next to the whale skeleton. Now I'm not sure where it's going to be in, like, there's 2 depth layouts. This one is the one where if you have the limestone cave spawn and you get like the alternate depths layout, the less common one. So I found it up here, as you see on the footage, but you know, you might find that somewhere else. I'm not sure what that translates to in the other depth layout, but you know, look around that area with the Rhino Chimeridae, and you know, down on the bottom right, or like, you know, and a little, you know, area around it, you'll find it somewhere around there. And it's, if not, you'll definitely find it in the depths. Like, my advice is, if you can't find one of these ones that are like out in the open, that aren't like what I have listed as a fixed location, you could probably search around the like area where I'm searching around and probably find it. Like, you know, if it's in a medium depth, you look around the medium depths. If it's in the depths, just look around the depths. You know, these ones shouldn't be the challenging ones to find. Like, you know, they're going to be kind of out in the open. So, you know, if you're swimming around enough, you will just find them. Number 11, Godzilla 1995. Now this one's outside of the abandoned Sea People Cave that's opposite the village. This DLC uses it as Godzilla's lair. So yeah, it will just be outside there, the collapsed gate. You just go up to the box and you'll find Godzilla 1995. It's also the Godzilla that's actually used in the DLC itself, so yeah, that's an interesting fact about that. That's probably why it's outside of Godzilla's lair. Number 12, Jet Jaguar. Now, this is in the Sea People Village. It's a fixed location. You know, the Sea People Village doesn't change. And this is on the far right of the map if you swim past the arcade. Now, this was actually the last one I got because I could not find this. But yeah, nah, it's just all the way to the right in the Sea People Village. Swim past the arcade / casino, and you'll find Jet Jaguar all the way on the right. Number 13, King Gidorah 1991. Now this one was in Tenzin's house. Now I had done the whole Glacial Passage area before I've checked inside the Sea People Village. That's why, like, you know, might have seen If it's in the video, you see me put my hands up like, oh wow, okay. But yeah, so inside the building, inside Tenzin's house, you will find the King Gidorah figurine. It's quite easy to see. It's just back there next to this treasure chest thing. Number 14, Gigan, 1972. Now this one is a bit of an annoying one to get because you have to resolve like the puzzle to get to it. Basically, in the Glacial Passage, go into the room to the left of the big mirror, and you'll have like the two wheels that you turn on, like the divine tree laser that you turned on, like at some point in the story. Now in here, you have to literally go through the puzzle again, you know, activate all the switches, and get the divine tree fruit. And it's in the area where you get like the bonus goldfish statue loot. There's the Gigan figurine, so you go in there, and that's where you're going to find Gigan's figurine. So you have to like carry the divine tree fruit all the way up to that, and yeah, you can get Gigan there. Don't worry about going any further to the left though, because there's nothing else in this cave, like really at that point, unless you haven't taken the photo of that mural yet. But that's another thing entirely. So yeah, the Gigan figurine up here. Quite an annoying one to get because you have to melt the ice, but yeah, that's where you'll find it. Number 15, Godzilla 2016. Now this one is also in the Glacial Passage. If you swim all the way down to the Giant Gadon's chamber right at the bottom of the Glacial Passage, if you swim through the door to the right there, you should be able to access this one quite easily. Because this entire part of the Glacial Passage is a one-way system where the chamber above that, if you go to the door to the right there, you have to go through a bunch of like contraptions and things. Whereas if you go into the door on the right of the Giant Gadon's chamber, they can't go back through the tunnel and get out the other door. The figure's right at the end of the tunnel anyway, so it's going to be right near you if you go in through the Giant Gadon's door. And yeah, this is a fixed location as well, much like the Gigan one, because the Glacial Passage only has one layout. It doesn't change. So yeah, this one should be easy enough to find. And yeah, this is Godzilla 2016, or Shin Godzilla. Yeah. And that's it for the Glacial Passage. Next up, you want to be going to the Glacial Area for number 16, Rodan, 1993. Rodan 1993, that's going to be in like the left area of the Glacial Passage, in like the place where all the tubes and all that go. Like now for me it was next to this big piece of aquamarine, but again it might not be exactly there for you. I'm not sure, but you know, there might be topaz there instead as well. But basically it's going to be in this left area that's sort of like a maze like area of the Glacial Passage. No, not Glacial Passage, Glacial Area. So yeah, it's in this maze-like area of the Glacial Area. And yeah, that's all I can really say about that. And yeah, this is Rodan, 1993. On the next on the list, number 17, Minilla or Minilla or something like that, right? And this is in Glacial Cave 1. Now the trick with Glacial Cave 1 is when you swim in, you swim downwards towards like down towards the statue and then swim to the right there. Now I'm going to find it pretty much immediately next to this big rock pile. This should be a fixed location because Glacial Cave 1 does not change its layout or anything like that, so you should be fine to just swim in here and grab the Minilla figurine. I'm not sure if I said Minilla 1967, but yeah, it's Minilla 1967. And yeah, this should be this should be in the location you'll see it on screen. Number 18, Spacegodzilla. This one is in the Glacial Seaweed Cave. Now, this place also doesn't change its layout, so it's a fine place to, you know, what you're seeing on screen should be the correct place. And yeah, this one, you have to do the side quest where you rescue the seaweed collector from the glacial areas, for Glacial Cave, like the Glacial Seaweed Cave. But yeah, it should be in there. Relatively easy one. It's a place where you find well, it's a place where you can only find Bladderwrack and the higher Lonemas, so yeah, should be relatively straightforward to get. You have to swim through some strong current to get to it, so make sure you're prepared to dodge the obstacles on the way in. Number 19, Hedorah. It's 1971. Now this one is in the Hydrothermal Vents area. It was right down the bottom near the entrance to Glacial Cave 3. Now, I'm not sure if this varies for anyone else, like if it might be on the other side for other people, but I've seen it's always down here, or that's what someone in chat said, like, you know, they also had experienced it down here next to a mineral. I didn't have a mineral here on screen, so chances are it is on the right, and the position of the boxes doesn't change too much, is what my assumption is here. But yeah, that's where you can find the Hedorah figurine. And finally, number 20, Destoroyah. Now, Destoroyah is all the way in the Divine Tree control room, not in the main bit that you enter at first, but you have to go through to the left, and where you have all these lava stacks that are spitting out black smoke that will set you on fire. Now, you really do not want to get hit by the black smoke, because the fire damage is a lot. Even if you have maximum air bar, you're going to have like a lot of damage taken if you get hit by it. It's right next to the Young Anomoclaris rock, so yeah, it's right at the end of that little tunnel there, as far as you can go after you defeated the final boss. Like, it is like it's on top of the rubble pile that seals off the way that would go forward. And yeah, that is the last figurine, and that should be all of them. Now, each of them weigh 2 kilograms, and yeah, you have to retrieve them back to the surface. But yeah, once you found all of them, you'll get like a Godzilla 1954 figurine for your restaurant. And that's about it for the reward. Like, you know, that's all there is to the reward. You get the Godzilla figurine in your restaurant, and you hit the Godzilla's eating a train for scale. It's pretty cool. So yeah, if you're... But either way, it gets out your quest log. So yeah, that's about it for the guide. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope you found it useful, and I hope you all have a good day.